sectors where we have several assistants serving public office holders?
Well, some of the ministers who have left office have come to the private sector. Some of them have had a culture shock. They've had to actually have to adjust to the reality of life. The governance of Nigeria is not easy. Let me put it this way. The Nigerian economy is $391 billion, and to run it, right, with all the pushback, there's a lot of work goes into it. But there's a law of economics that says that labor will attract its actual revenue. That is, no matter what you do, labor will be paid both officially and unofficially its true worth. So if you decide that you're going to pay the president of Nigeria 5 naira a year, whether you like it or not, what will come to him will be that which is his true value. So the reality is that the true cost of governance is purely what you're having. What you need to do is to make that output. That's why I'm saying that I'm not too concerned about how much people are paid. What I'm concerned about is their productivity. They need to produce. They need to work hard, right? Working is not about conferences and summits. This country, we have a conference every day, we have a summit every day, and we write papers and nothing gets done. It's not about summits. This is about, there's a conference fatigue in this country. I don't attend many of those things because it's a total waste of time. The reality is people should sit down and do a day's job. Make sure that the power cuts reduce. Make sure that fatalities in the hospitals reduce. Make sure that the roads are tarred. Make sure the bridges make sure the refineries are working. That is the job of government.
Do you believe that there is exuberance in spendings in government?
No, I don't think so. I think people are spending because out of that spending all sorts of things happen. The reality is that there's low productivity. There's inefficiency and low productivity.
Well, I think that realization came early this year. There's a cut in the traveling in the travelings of the president in the schedule of his travels based on criticism that was raised last year.
Yeah. No, but again, people travel around the place. But what are they going there to do? The point: how productive are these travels? So the president can travel. The United States president travels all over the place, right? But goes specifically for things. The governors can travel. But please, travel when you are going to produce. Don't just travel for the sake of travel. You see, there's a Ministry of Tourism. The president and the governors should take their vacation, and when they want to travel on rest and relaxation, they can do that. But the reality is that in every day's work, everybody in government, everybody in the private sector should move just to go and produce. The problem here is not the expenditure. The problem here is low productivity.
But again, how do we now
address productivity?
Address productivity
no,
in government.
Somebody monitors.
If someone does not perform in the private sector, you get sacked. Who monitors?
Yes. Because there's a P&L account. The reality is that in this country, you hold people down to their manifestos. If you promise that in 4 years you will deliver this as a governor, then we'll come back and ask you, what do you do? In Delta State, for example, we have what they call the dashboard, the economic dashboard, which reviews all the ministries. And if you have a red, you are down and out. If you have an amber, you'll be reviewed. If you have a green,
Delta State?
Yes, Delta State, right? There's a dashboard. The same thing can be adopted across the country. You need to ensure that people do their work. That is the problem. There are too many unproductive characters floating around government at all levels in the country, at the local government level, state government level, and
which of these arms of government do you think we have more ineffectiveness?
I think the entire country is inefficient.
The entire
the Nigerian
system.
Nigerian system is inefficient. Let's not deceive ourselves. That's why I'm telling you that if between 1998 and now our income as a country has grown by 1,000%, and yet our GDP has grown cumulatively in that period by 7 times 15 or something like that, maybe 100%. The difference between 100% and 1,000% is now 100%, which means that we are now 100% inefficient. That is all it is.
Well, I mean, isn't it very pathetic that we have enormous wealth? We are ineffective. and we're not getting results.
You keep on saying enormous wealth. The wealth is only as good as its
natural
produced.
resources.
Yeah,
I probably
you
would
need
say.
to. You see, look. You send people to the Olympics. There was an article today on the Olympics and all of that. You come back without any medal, right? Then you go to the other thing. One person brings 2 medals, right? And you look at how much resources went into it and look at what you got in return. Then look at what Kenya put in. Look at what Ethiopia put in. Look at what Russians put in. And look at what you got out. So input-output analysis will tell you whether you're doing well or not. And then the question of which is the most ineffective arm of government, that's an economic race to the bottom. We're not struggling on how poorly we should perform. We are looking at what you should be asking me, which of the arms of government is doing best, right?
Which of the arms of government do you think is doing best?
I don't know. I can't. If it's doing well, I need to see it. You can't hide it. I need to see the returns. I need to see the results.
So perhaps they're not, I mean,
no, I haven't.
Any of his,
I look at the Nigerian entity as a whole. I haven't looked at any particular arms of government. I know there's work going on, but the reality is that we need to, first of all, accept the reality that as a country we are inefficient and we are suboptimal. Then we now say, okay, what are the constraints to growth that we need to remove? Power is one of them, roads, bridges, ports, and all of that. And then we begin, and we can't do all of these things. We need to prioritize. If we are celebrating a rail line going from Lagos to Kano, which we had in 1959, right, or 57, right, and we are doing it in 36 or 42 hours, a journey that could have been, and we are celebrating it. It shows you how low our aspirations have become.
Okay, we go for another break, and when we return, we talk more on how Nigeria is being governed and how much it actually costs us to govern Nigeria. A lot of concerns being raised by some Nigerians, and you also can be part of that particular conversation. Join us right after now.
My wife fine yo, she no get part 2. She fine pass Oyinbo queen, no part 2.
Your wife is coming.
Hey! Hospital bill.
Da kin yi register da NHIS. Da yanzu ba kya asibiti bill. Ìbá ṣe pé wọn náà ti darapọ̀ mọ́ ètò ìlera adójútòfò NHIS ni. Ó ní máa pariwo hospital bill.
Ọ bụrụ na ị dere ahụ na akwụkwọ ndị NHIS, ị gaghị nọrọ ebe a na-eti mkpu the hospital bill.
I dey go register for the NHIS.
You go school? Wetin you know about SES?
Na NHIS. Government don dey arrange better thing. We no go dey suffer for hospital bill again. I dey go register now. Everybody can register. Bus driver, mechanic, trader, anybody.
NHIS, easy access to healthcare for all.
Easy access to healthcare for all.
Still watching Politics Today on Channels Television. Well, politics is what affects your life, the activities of those you elect into office. And today on the program, we've been talking about the cost of governance. Well, how much you as a Nigerian give to public office holders to run government. A lot of people have said that in itself is very enormous. Well, let me take some of your comments that you have sent to us on our email, politicstoday@channelstv.com. Let me start with Bayan Rohof. He said Dr. Obi should have raised the issue of high cost of governance when she was part of the government during OBJ regime. Cost of governance, Sule Abdul said the Nigerian cost of governance is extremely high. Very few living extravagant lifestyles and many living in abject poverty. Leaders should reflect and get things done rightly. Degbola Biodun says Nigeria is grossly mismanaged and our political leaders keep denying this. Citizens need to arise against all these before the future goes totally dark. Nothing is working except propaganda, match against destructive leadership. That is Degbola Biodun. Well, Abiola Yusuf, Nigeria is a place where politicians contest for elective positions because of what they would get and not they would offer the masses. Okay. So many tweets, emails coming. I can just take a few, but let me take some of your tweets that are coming in. Jenny Pitts also says, I'm very much concerned about their productivity, output, and